Hey guys, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, send out any last minute text to the team. You're gonna want everyone to be on this bad boy. Let me mute all because Miss Hillary Scott is a rock star. I love one of my favorite things about this business is the relationships and building relationships with people. And I've been able to spend a lot of time on the phone with Hillary, really getting to know her heart, know her belief systems, and she is absolutely amazing. And she's going to pour into you guys today. So, with that being said, I'm going to turn the host over to you. That way you can mute any naughty unmuters. Guys, you don't want to miss 1 second of this. So let's be cognizant to make sure that we press the mute button on our phones and we don't accidentally unmute and disrupt everybody. And then we have to call you a naughty unmuter. But with that being said, let me
I'm
turn the host
unmuted.
over.
I got the host. I got the magic button. It said I'm the host.
It already said?
Yeah, now I'm official. I just saw it pop up again.
There you
Wow,
go.
if that doesn't put a little bit of pressure, I don't know what does.
You are the hostess with the mostest, Miss Hillary Scott. Over to you.
Woohoo! Thank you so much, Chris, for that beautiful introduction. Yes, I myself am getting used to writing Hillary Scott because I've wrote Hillary Thompson for a very long time. It's kind of fun though, because if you know the famous Hillary Scott, I can't wait until I like book a hotel or something and I say it's Hillary Scott and people actually know who that is and they think she's coming and then I show up. Surprise, not the famous one. Anyways, I am so excited to be here this morning. I pray and I hope I was actually just listening to some worship music and just asking God to use me as a vessel to bless all of you and pour into you in the way that ignites a fire and a passion that is inside of you. And I hope you leave here feeling so inspired and so excited to go out and share happiness with the world, because we all know we need it, right? Everyone needs it, whether this time or another, but especially right now. So I am not going to go into my whole story and all that because I have so much I want to share with you guys. And you'll notice I do these like weird fingers. These are my like excited. So when you see these happening, you know I'm getting really excited about what I'm going to share with you. So please have a pen and paper. Obviously, you can go back and watch the recording. A lot of what I'm going to share with you is stuff that I have heard and learned over the course of, 7 years doing this, and my spin on it, my take on it. And I hope that it brings value. And again, you take some nuggets away from here and go out and just make whatever you want in this business possible. That's something I love so much about this company, is that we love you where you are. And it doesn't matter if you're a certain rank, like you are valuable no matter what. And that is something that is so beautiful and special and important here. So without further ado, we all know when we get started, what's the number one thing we do? We are happy, we take our products, we drink our coffee, you be a product of the product. And in saying that, I want to encourage all of you. So for me personally, I used to set these big grandiose plans for getting into shape and fitness, right? And what I would do is I would start working out and I would go so hard that I'd wear myself out and I would quit. So I want you to think about your business kind of in that way, right? There is something so beautiful about starting small wherever you are. The thing is that I don't know who says this quote, but you don't have to be an expert to start, but you have to start to be an expert, or however you want to say it. So it's all about just starting, right? So take your products, move your body, my friends. I will tell you right now, I say max and move, because when you drink your max or you're taking your max caps and you even get yourself out there for half an hour, and if you're encouraging your customers to do the same, I am not the sciencey person at all, but I think it does something. Like it just puts all the little receptors and all the little things in your brain. We got this. Like it's a little extra jump start. And the most important part too is you are supposed to be working with your body, not against your body. And if you can share that with your customers too, that love yourself first and foremost where you're at, and love and honor your body and speak kindly to yourself. There is so much power in loving yourself and speaking kindly to yourself and working with, not against your body. It's, there's a reason Chris and I connect, because it's all about mindset, right? And how we say things, and what you think about, you bring about. And I always try to pivot my thoughts, and I am so far from an expert on it. You guys, I say this business is personal growth and development with a compensation plan. So if you don't find yourself growing every single day to be a better version of yourself, as cliche as that sounds, then you're doing something wrong. I hate to tell you, but you really are. You should be a better person today than you were yesterday, and strive forward with that in tiny little steps, right? Because there are so many people that have such value on this team. You want to be connecting your prospects, your people, to the tools, right? We have our customer groups. Get in there, connect your people, put them in there. Share tools. Don't be a tool. I love when Chris says that. Every single time I just crack up. Share a tool. Don't be a tool. Okay. So all of those things said, I want to break down and start with, how do you get your goal, right? It's the beginning of the month. What is your goal? What does that look like? How do you unpack that goal into bite-sized pieces? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you get to ambassador or wherever you want to be? One order at a time, one bite at a time. If you look so far ahead, you're going to discourage yourself. I thought about it this morning. Normally I get up at 4:45 only because I have an accountability partner, and we get up at 4:45. You guys, I go, I drink my coffee, I take my Xantho Max, and I go work out. If you're not using your Max also as a pre-workout or talking to your people about it, pro tip, it works. It's amazing. But this morning, her and I slept in a little bit, so we weren't out there at, what feels like the middle of the night, because it's still super dark. You can't see. Like, I wear this ridiculous reflective shirt. Probably should have lights on myself or something. But we walk up normally this really big hill. And this morning we were walking and we're talking, and I'm like, man, this hill seems a lot harder this morning than it normally does at 5 a.m. But you guys, at 5 a.m., what is it? It's pitch black. So I can't see the entire hill, how far I have to go. I just go one foot in front of the other. Okay. And I was walking, and I told my friend, I said, oh my gosh, I'm doing this training call. I'm so nervous. But I looked at her and I said, I think I'm going to share this. I think I'm going to share about, because it fits in perfectly with getting started. Don't look at the big, huge hill, you guys. Focus on one foot in front of the other, one thing in front of the next, right? So when you're breaking down your goal, number one, I've trained on this before, but if you missed it, I'll share it again. If you have a piece of paper, I want you to write what at the top, okay? And then I want you to kind of make a little curve, and I want you to write why, and another little curve around, and when, and back up to what. So you're gonna have kind of like a circle, right? With your what, why, when. And the reason you're doing this is because what is your goal, right? What is that goal? Write that goal down. Okay, it's $500. It's my kids are going to be in a sport this winter, or Christmas is coming up. I want to be able to purchase X, Y, and Z. So that's a what, right? Like what that goal is. Why, right? Like, oh, excuse me. So what, the dollar amount, and then why. Christmas is coming up. You have something to pay for, whatever that looks like. But the other thing is so important when you're doing a goal, and this is the step a lot of people leave out, because this forces us to be accountable. And this forces us to do things that can tend to be uncomfortable. And that's putting a timestamp on it. When does this goal want to be accomplished by, right? So I wrote out, first of all, I think that we should all be striving for star every single month personally in our business. We should be star every single month on our own, okay? That is the first rank, and it's my favorite rank. I love that rank. I love bronze too, but getting to star should be your goal no matter where you are every single month, because what are you doing? You're constantly growing your business and bringing people in and blessing others, right? So STAR is 1,250 PV points, right? Again, how do you eat an elephant? Oh gosh, I might have to be an unmute somebody. I heard something. I think they got it. So what I like to do is I like to take the volume on the rank where I am, divide it by how many days there are in this month. There are 31 days. Okay. Oh, there is somebody. Ah, Chris, this is when you should have had it. I'm like a squirrel. I'm like super distracted. Anyways, there's 31 days. That ends up to be about 40 PV a day. Okay. Even more, you can break it down and look at, all right, I like to average out whatever rank I'm going for or volume I'm going for based upon a dose order, because that's what I want everyone on minimum anyways, right? And what's that? 84. So if you take 1250 divided by 84, that's 15. So that's 15 customers. You guys, that may seem like a lot, but it's really not when you start getting into, and I'm going to tell you, so don't worry, consistent activity to get you to that point. And you also have to remember that it takes people 8 to 10 touches to make a decision most of the time, right? So that's a lot of people you're touching and blessing, but I like to put these people on what I call an 8 list, ATE, attract to elevate. So when I first started in this industry and someone told me, get out your pen and paper and write down 100 people you know, da 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 da. You know, you're a doctor, you're a dentist. That, you guys, I don't know about you, but that felt so weird to me. So weird. I'm like, I am not going to my dentist and selling my products to them. Like, I am just not. I know they work, but like, it just felt weird to me personally. So for me, especially because we talk about attraction marketing, this is a way that I have a list of people that I am literally putting out into the universe. I'm wanting to attract them. I think when I'm writing their name down, say I was adding Chris to the list, I'd be writing Chris's name down and I would say, man, I really want to attract him because I know that he was suffering with some pain issues and, you know, he needs more energy from the posts that I'm seeing. So, man, I really know that these products could help him and benefit him, because that's another key thing, you guys. When we are focusing on other people and really putting out the energy of not their name on paper for what they can do for us, but their name on paper for what we can do for them. When we shift that mindset and that attitude, that is powerful. That is so powerful, okay? So getting people on the list, attract to elevate, you guys, all right? And then how do you even start to get the list shared? I'm gonna give you some activities that you can be doing. And break these off into bite-sized pieces too. If you have 15 minutes, take 15 minutes and do one of these things. Take another 15 minutes and do another one of these things. Another mindset thing that I want to share with you, and it's oftentimes a really good kick in the booty, punch in the gut, like, ooh, man, if you find yourself saying, well, I don't have time to do that. Instead of saying, I don't have time to do that, say, that's not a priority for me. And when you shift your mindset like that and you're like, oh man, it's not a priority, but it is because I want to get X, Y, and Z, then it's so much easier to get to that next point, right? Like, and you guys, everybody's busy. Everybody is busy. We live in a world of busy. So don't also get caught up into this, well, she doesn't even know how busy I am and I have this. You guys, I have 3 kids. I am distance learning with him. I have a 3-year-old that sometimes, oof, I'm like, Lord, you are testing these products to the next level, right? There's different kinds of busy for everybody. But if you catch yourself going, man, I'm just too busy, I don't have time. Is it a priority then? Is this really one of your priorities? So Posting, I want to go into this quick before action steps. Posting and sharing your story. So oftentimes I hear people say, well, I already said my story. I already shared my testimonial. You guys, there are people that get paid a lot of money to go and share their story over and over and over again. This is the truth, right? And the other part is you also need to learn and figure out the parts of your story that you can pick apart. I've had a girl say to me one time, I made a post about how I went into TJ Maxx, pre-COVID, pre-mask, pre-arrows this way and all the nonsense, right? But my kids were losing it in TJ Maxx, and normally I would have had a meltdown and been like, okay, we're out of here, and given them the mother death stare, followed by a very good talking in the car as we got there. And I just had the patience, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, and I just handled it much better, and in the way that I've always envisioned myself as a mom handling things. Okay, and I shared that experience, that tiny little thing, and I got a customer from that because the person saw herself in that. So the other thing is, I was helping Bryson, my oldest, with his homework the other day, and he was reading about Dolly Parton. Okay, we all know who Dolly Parton is. Dolly Parton made a lot of money sharing her story through the form of songs. Okay, she owned where she came from, and she found gold within it. Now, her songs could have been so sad and woe is me, but for the most part, they're like uplifting, like everybody knows her songs, but she owned her story. She owned where she came from. You guys own it. Own your story. Your story is yours for a reason, and share that story. The feel, felt, found method, right? How did you feel? How did you understand how others felt in that situation, right? And what you found the solution for it. So unpacking all of that stuff in your story, there's another reason why Kendra Hall was at our convention when we all could actually get together, right? Because what did she share about? Sharing your stories. Stories are important, okay? People, we're selfish creatures. We only really ultimately care about ourselves. So sharing your story helps other people see themselves inside of that, okay? So, all right, whew, take a breath. I don't think I've, taken a breath yet here because I'm so excited for this. But, all right, action steps. What can you be doing daily? Things that I do, little tips and tricks and things that I've learned throughout this team and different people, and again in the last however long. Number one, the easiest thing that you can do, send happy birthday messages to people. Don't go on their wall, but literally go in their inbox and send them a happy birthday message. And the other thing, ask a question, create conversation with them, right? Like, what are you doing? Something that I love to do when I'm sending a happy birthday message is sometimes I sing it. Yes, I'm not that good at singing, but everyone loves it. Everyone's in a good mood on their birthday. Another thing that this does, especially if you've been in the industry a while, your friends list grows and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know these people. This gives you a good way to also kind of do another activity, which is deleting inactive friends, kind of weeding out people that no longer align with who you are, and not because you don't like them, but here's the other secret, and why I love this company too, is they don't teach you to go and you get everybody right? Like the idea, I love the fishing analogy, right? If you decide you want to work with a certain person or catch a certain fish, right, you have to use different bait, right? Like you just don't throw in the same thing and expect to get you're not going to come up here and fish in the Mississippi and get a marlin, right? So I just like to continually look at my list, and this isn't like judging people, but again, we're protecting our space and our energy, and we don't need everybody. We just need the right people, right? And we want the right people in our lives. And I really feel like Chris and Ricky have been just a great example of this, of really creating this culture and this vision of what they wanted, And time again, when people speak, it's like, wow, that's the same thing I felt. That's how, and why do you think that is? Because they shared that part of them and that vision, right? They casted that out. They looked for their 5 generals. They continue to grow and share the mission. And I would venture to believe that everyone here that's on this call has very, very similar whys, right? To help other people, to elevate. That's our company, you guys. We're here to elevate, to make people feel better, all right? So sending out those happy birthday messages with a question, adding friends. And the key here, I feel like, is when you do add friends is number one, make sure you actually like want to be friends with these people, because I feel like it's really weird if you're just like randomly sending out add friends. But also once they accept your friend request, especially if it's someone I don't know, I'll tell you a story. I saw this girl, she was on my add friends, and I just kept scrolling. I'm like, oh man, she felt intimidating to me, right? Like I put her on this like next level of like, someone referred to it as like a chicken list or whatever. So finally one day I'm like, I'm gonna add her as a friend. So I pressed add friend and she accepted. And guess what I did, you guys? I went into her inbox and I said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for accepting my friend request. You know, Facebook thought we should be friends, and so did I. So that's why I hit, you know, sending you a friend request. And I complimented her in a genuine way, and we connected. And guess what? We ended up going to coffee together. She actually, in a sense, needed me more than I needed her, per se, right? Like, we had a beautiful, beautiful conversation. But this is relationship marketing. So make sure that you're fostering those relationships and building those relationships, and not just willy-nilly adding people. Comment. This is huge, you guys. Huge, huge, huge. Comment and be active in your customer groups. Comment and be active in your customer groups. And not just comment, way to go, Chris. So happy for you. Those are fine too. But I like to try to go in and, first of all, everyone, we live in a microwave society, right? Everyone wants the Cliff Notes version, right? Because we all tell ourselves we're so busy. Everybody's busy. So I would like to go in to the testimonials and give a little Cliff Note. So say someone lost 20 pounds, felt better, had more energy, whatever. I could go in and I could say, Lisa, I am so happy for you. I bet losing those 20 pounds and having more energy has truly changed your life. So proud of you. Something like that. Because you guys, when you're in your customer groups and you're making these comments, it goes onto your wall, or the walls of other people that you've added into the group. And even further, Facebook shows your comment to them. Facebook shows what you commented on that. So they're going to see it. And if you have like that really good snippet or like teaser of getting that person to want to go read that testimonial further, that is even better. Okay. So being very mindful and active in your groups, and also sharing your story in the groups. Yes, maybe you've posted your testimonial before. Share it again. Share another piece of it. Okay. Next, comment with questions on your friend's posts too. Again, you're wanting to create interaction. So say somebody has a big life event, right? Like, for instance, when I got married, I loved all of the congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. But if I'm completely honest, there is no way I was going to be able to go back and, I mean, yes, I could have, but it would have spent a lot of time, and comment, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, over and over and over and over again. I mean, I try to be like, thank you, dear, like change it up a little bit. But if someone would have commented, congratulations, where did you get married? Right? I'm going to go back and comment back to that person and answer that question, right? Create that conversation. So be doing that as much as you can, as much as you can. And it's so weird, and I just don't even like saying it, but you have to play the Facebook game, right? Like the algorithm game and all of it. And I don't know all the ins and outs, but I know that the more that you use the tools and the platform the way it was designed, the more Facebook shows your stuff in front of other people. So asking questions is huge. Replying to messages and following up with people. And another thing is with this is you can go into your messenger, and at the top you can search coffee. It'll pull up the conversations where you've talked about coffee. It's a quick, easy way to think like, oh man, I got really busy and I meant to follow up with so-and-so, I never did, this conversation fell off, or whatever that looks like. It's a really good way to get that conversation going again, or use the line. If you're using the script, have you heard of the happy coffee? Type that in. Have you heard of the happy coffee everyone's been talking about, right? Use that in the search bar. You can pull up conversations. Oh, in your messenger, you can go in and hold on. At the top of it, geez, you think. See, anyone can do this. I can't even run my phone right now. But at the top, there's a search bar in Messenger. It's probably really hard to see in my phone, but just right at the top, when you pull up your Messenger, search, and you can go in and search for key phrases, if you will, within there. This next one, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on unpacking, and I know I'm starting to get like long-winded and I have a few things, so I'm going to speed it up, but I feel like this is really important. Check in with your sponsor. Okay, check in with the person that sponsored you often. Check in with your teammates, check in with your customers. Here's the other deal is I want to talk about my love language. And if anyone knows love language is words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, time spent together. I bet y'all can guess what mine is. If you know what yours is, drop it in the chat here. I'd love to see what people's love languages are on here, but mine is words of affirmation. Like, that's my love language, words of affirmation. Yep. See, I knew it. Acts of service, words of affirmation. All right, so if your love language is that, and you are looking for or waiting for someone to just offer that out to you, I always say, how many hugs have you had today, right? If you say none, well, then that's on you kind of too, because if you were to receive a hug, you also have to give a hug, right? So if you have a certain love language or something that fuels your fire, go and do that thing for somebody else, because it's going to feel good for you too, right? If you cannot receive unless you give also. So checking in with your sponsor. We're not mind readers as much as we would love to be. There is a lot, again, everybody's busy. Everyone has stuff going on. So checking in with them is so, so important. But thinking about your business too, of what's your love language, doing and offering those things for other people is huge. All right. The other thing I love doing lately, especially because world and Facebook can be very like black hole, right? Like suck you in hardcore. Next thing you know, you're like investigating, I don't even know what, right? I have been working very diligently at trying to stay in the stories. So when I go and I pull up the Facebook app, stay in the stories. The other thing that happens here is, I don't know who said it, but millionaires are made in Messenger. You guys, this is the best and easiest way to get into your people's inbox without feeling like a weirdo, right? Without making yourself feel weird, is go into their stories, like, comment, ask questions, engage, conversation, okay? Oh, I was thinking about this, I didn't write it down, but on the wall, back to the wall, I've been seeing a lot of people have been sharing, at least in my algorithms in particular, this like link to a post about anxiety and loving people with anxiety. Okay, so people have been sharing it left and right. This is a place where I personally do not like to, so say Chris is like, man, I'm so tired today. I personally don't like to go on someone's wall and say, I have a solution for you, or go right into their inbox. I can help you with that. Like, because you know what? I like to do things that I think about, how would that make me feel? Okay. So these people are going on my 8 list, Attract to Elevate. I'm seeing an issue that they have, and I want to help them in an authentic and real way, right? So if you see people sharing things like that, anxiety, mom life, busy, whatever, put them on the list. And also, when you go to work your business to get started in who are you attracting, start with those people. Also, you guys, start with the people that are liking and loving and commenting on your non-coffee posts too. They may not be commenting on your coffee posts because it's uncomfortable, but they are people that love you and want to be in your life and a part of your life. So they go on that list. They're a lead for you. They already love you. They already value you. Okay. So don't feel like, man, I don't have anyone, or nobody does this or nobody does that. Yes, they do. You just have to look at it in a different light. All right. Okay. I think that's all for kind of like the parts about what you're doing. Now, I'm going to end it with this part, and you guys are going to really get to know me very fast and how my mind works. So it's always going nonstop. But last night I was getting ready to leave for my niece's birthday party, and I just felt God saying, like, you need to share this part. So I went and I scribbled in my office this. And if you notice, it's also on a piece of paper that I scribbled on, but it was the first one I found. And I want to wrap up the call with this. There are going to be times where you don't feel like it. There are going to be times where you are not motivated. There are going to be times where you're like, no one comments. No one wants a sample. No one, first, before I finish this, if you were someone who purchased these amazing Elevate Max capsules and you are not sampling them out and you have 4 or 5 bottles on your shelf, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get those out to people. People love free stuff. Offer. If you have your list, Attract to Elevate list, if you have a whatever, a customer base, people felt like, feed them this. Feed them this. They'll be coming running. It was so funny the other day. I saw one of my friends and we were at the store and she's like, oh my gosh, I saw your post. And I'm like, I've got some. And we're like in the parking lot and I'm opening up and giving her some pills. But you guys, sample, sample, sample. This is incredible. We have an amazing product that people need, want, and can feel. Okay. So back to this whole mindset thing of, I don't feel like it. No one's, posting loving on my comments. I share and no one's in my inbox. They say to attract people. Who the heck am I attracting? And you start getting in this negative mindset. Whatever you tell yourself, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. No one's doing this. Da 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 da. I don't feel like it. Da 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 da. The common theme in all of these things is you're making it all about you. You're making it all about you. But aren't we all here to help others, right? At least that's what I'm sure a lot of your whys are, to help other people. You show up because you have the solution. You have the answer to the single moms like I was. You guys, I started in this industry a broke as a joke single mom. This was the answer to my prayers. You have the answer to people's prayers. Think about the dad that's working 2 jobs, feeling like a failure because he's unable to provide for his family. Think about the people that are so unsure about if they're even going to have a job because of COVID. You have the answer to that, you guys. So we show up for others, not for ourselves. When you show up for other people, not for yourself, and you no longer make it about you, that's the magic. That's the beauty of all of this. So when you are getting discouraged, do the pivot. Pivot. I literally say pivot. Okay, Hillary, stop. Like envision stopping in my brain. Where is this thought going? Why am I here? What am I doing this for? Don't make your why not, you guys. That happens all the time too. You're here for your kids, you're here for this, but then you're making excuses of why you're not doing it because your kids are da 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 da, right? It's this vicious cycle. But if we can really, truly work so hard on doing this for others. When you're posting for other people. You're posting for them to help inspire and motivate them, because what we have here is pure gold. It really, truly is different. That is not a line of BS. That is not hype. That is the truth. The truth. But people do not know that unless you share that. You can't be mad at people for not purchasing from you if you're not even talking about what the heck you have to purchase. You can't be mad that people aren't joining you if you're not even inviting people to join you or showing and sharing what you have, you guys. You can't be upset about that at all. You know, it's like buying all of the running gear and having the perfect outfit and getting the sneakers and lining it all up, but you never put it on and go out there and even try. Is it the shoes' fault or yours, right? Is it the gym's fault? No. You take the action, right? And you're worth it. Like, stop listening to the lies of the past or whatever is going on. And it's hard sometimes, right? It's hard. Find yourself an accountability partner. That's huge. Track what you're doing. It's huge. Right? Because then you can look back and you can say, okay, well, I can look at, and I didn't post here, or I'm not reaching out here. So these are areas where I can grow. Okay. Self-reflection. The other thing is I say this, own your middle, you guys, own your middle. We're all in the middle. I guarantee you, if we were to ask Chris or even Ricky, they're not done. They're not arrived. They haven't made it. They're still in the middle. They're still in the middle, working towards their goal. And if you're a believer, we're always in the middle, because the end is eternal salvation for me, right? So my entire life is the middle. And the other thing is we're not in the Garden of Eden. We're not in perfection. We're not in heaven. So there's going to be struggles. There are going to be times where it is hard. You're not going to want to do it. But we're not doing it for us. We're doing it for others, right? So that's what I have. I did pretty close to half an hour. I hope that you all found value in this, and you know that you're worth it. If no one's told you yet today, you're beautiful, you're important, you matter, what you say matters, what you have inside of you matters. That purpose, that desire, God didn't put that there inside of you without a path and a way to make it come true. But it takes action. It's called free will. You know, you can take a horse to water, you can't make it drink, right? So go take action on your dreams and get started, one foot in front of the other.
Awesome. Great job, Hillary. Everybody have a rocking weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary.
Thank you, Hillary.
Thank you, Hillary.
Unicorn.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hillary.
You're awesome.